Hey guys, um, I just went ahead and finished Dying Light 2. It took me quite a while, and that's because this is a big ass game. But I am one of less than 1% of the players, at least on Steam, that has done everything. Literally everything the game has to offer. All of the side activities, all of the side quests. I got the achievements for it and everything. So, you can just say that this is definitely a review that's going to be thorough. Okay. I'll try and keep it quick. I'm actually re-recording this because my first take was 30 minutes and I still didn't say everything I wanted to say. So I'm going to try and go a little bit fast. I'm going to order it in pros and cons, and I have a list over here. But it took me 65 hours to 100% everything. And that's over 110 quests done. There's a lot of side quests in the game. I think only about like 12 to 15 of those were main quests. So there's a lot of side quests in the game. So let's get into it. Preface real quick though, I am a giant fan of Dying Light 1. So I'm not going to be one of those people that didn't like Dying Light 1 and I was for some reason expecting to like Dying Light 2 like a lot of those reviewers out there. Let's get into it. The first pro, I think the standout of the show here is the parkour. It is vastly improved over Dying Light 1. They give you way more tools. You can freaking wall run. You have a grapple hook. You have a paraglider. There's tons of shit in the city, from monkey bars to swing on, which is something I always wanted in Dying Light 1. It was so weird that you couldn't do it because there was literally bars, but you had to jump on them. It was very awkward. Um, there's monkey bars, there's wall running. You can chain wall runs together. You can run up a wall, turn around, jump up, run off of a wall, turn around, wall run. You can do all sorts of really fun shit. And when it comes to the actual like parkour puzzles in the game, like you can see there's a windmill here in the background. Um, it allows you to do a lot of really cool things where normally, it'll tell you how much stamina you need in order to do these, but that's just doing it the way that they think. That's just doing it if you're going to hold on to this and jump onto this and hold on to this. But once you actually start to get some of those skills under your belt, you can get a little bit of creative with it. And I found myself actually doing some of these parkour puzzles that required significantly more stamina than I had, just by getting a little bit creative with some wall running and some tic tacs and stuff like that. And it's really fun just to navigate the city, the first city. I'll get into that later though. Everything flows well, and I always felt like in the first city, oh, my quest is over there. I might have to zigzag a little bit to get there, but I can get there purely through parkour, and they give you a ton of new abilities and gadgets to work with. It's super fun. They have over 3,000 unique animations in this game for parkour, and you can tell because it's so smooth. Everything you do is so smooth in the parkour animation department. And it even makes the time trials and stuff like that, like the races, it makes those really fun. And they even have several that put a little twist on it. They'll have like the floor is lava, and they'll have, oh, you can't fall from large heights or you'll break these eggs, stuff like that. That actually makes it really fun to do the parkour around the city and do those trials. Um, the next thing I would say is a plus is all of those goddamn side quests. A lot of them are actually really good. I found myself being constantly surprised. You'll get a quest, and no spoilers in this review or anything, but you'll get a quest, and it seems very bare bones. Okay, this guy needs me to go do this, and alright, I know exactly how this is going to play out. But there's almost always a twist. Whether things aren't what they seem, or whether you end up getting a decision partway through that will actually change the rewards that you get and who likes you at the end of it, it's actually very fun. And some of these side quests do have very real side effects. None of them directly impact the story too much, bar two of them, I think. But there's even a hidden romance in the game that you can get through doing side quests. So there's a lot to unpack there. Even something as simple as being a delivery man. I was like, oh god, this is gonna be so boring. But then you start to find out, the inner workings of the delivery guild. You start to work your way up to the ranks of it, almost like Skyrim or something. And more and more is unveiled, and it's very interesting. So even stuff that seems so simple starts to get a lot more depth to it in the side quests. And honestly, I really enjoyed going through all of them. That's why I did all 100 plus of them or whatever. Um, what I will also say is that those decisions from the side quests are way more impactful and way more important in the main quest. Now, this has been a big advertising point for the game. Your decision. This is a huge RPG. Your decisions change everything. They do and they don't. Okay? Here's how I would describe, as vaguely as possible, the decision structure of this game. Okay? There's two roads. They represent the two factions in the game. And I played with one faction. My cousin used another faction. So we were talking about the differences. And so I have a good idea of what happens in both paths. And you both start at the same red light. Okay? Turns green, you're going. But there's a bit of construction, and you guys both diverge on your separate paths, going down other roads, and these can diverge quite a lot. We're talking, what the hell? I was just on the freeway, now I'm driving down in the boonies in a dirt road, totally fucking up my car type of thing. Okay? So it diverges a lot. And then it will come back together. Okay, we made it past the maintenance. We're back on the same road. And then it'll diverge again. More construction. And then, but at the end, you guys both get to the same parking lot. Okay? You're probably going to different stores in that parking lot. So you're going to get different endings, but you're still in the same parking lot. So it kind of depends. If you're more of the the end is more important than the journey type of person, you really care about that end and you want a diverse ending, that's not really present here. It's far more similar to like a Mass Effect 3 type of situation where your journey is going to be very different from somebody else that makes different decisions than you, but the end is going to be pretty similar. But I actually really enjoyed the story. I really liked Aiden as a character. Some reviews said that they didn't like him. I liked him. His voice acting is phenomenal. There's actually a lot of emotion that comes through. I like his personality. Just a little baby bit about him, keeping things general. This is all like the first 20, 30 minutes of the game. Aiden is a pilgrim. This is somebody that people in settlements don't really like, but they have a need for, because it's somebody that doesn't settle down in an establishment. Instead, they travel the country or the world, right? And as a result, since they're one of the only people that's actually out and about traveling, they have a lot of information. People need that information, and they can deliver goods and take packages and stuff to entirely different settlements, which is something that most people are way too terrified to do. But they have kind of a negative reputation. People don't like them because you gotta do what you gotta do to survive out in a zombie apocalyptic world. And, that includes killing and stealing. So they kind of have a negative reputation, and you have this uphill battle as Aiden trying to get people on your side because of that. And I really liked Aiden. I didn't give a shit about his backstory, I'll be honest. Like the lore and stuff, I didn't like, but I did like his voice acting, his character, and the decisions that they allowed you to choose, along with the branching narrative. I thoroughly enjoyed that aspect of it, at least. I need to go a little faster. The combat, parkour and combat. This are the two main things you're going to be doing in the game. The parkour is phenomenal, like I said, and the combat is good. It's not as good as Dying Light 1, in my opinion. It just lacks that feedback that Dying Light 1 has. In my opinion, Dying Light 1 has the best first-person combat, melee combat, I've ever played in a game. It is phenomenal. The feedback you get, you hit a zombie in the head with a pipe, boing! The sound design and everything is phenomenal in that game. And it is definitely a little bit lacking in comparison to Dying Light 1 in that regard. But at the end of the day, they've added so much more versatility in combat, and they've intertwined the parkour so phenomenally with the combat. You know, in Dying Light 1, they're two completely separate things. You have your combat and you have your parkour. In this game, it's almost like a Venn diagram where it's like, sure, you know, your monkey bars may not help you too much on this side, and you know, yeah, you can just normally hit things, but there's that interlapping area in the middle where you can, you know, sprint, jump off a dude's head, and go into a flying dive kick on a guy, you know, or you can slide into a dude, kick him in the knees or the shin or whatever, cause him to fall down, stomp on the dude's head. You know, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do. And then once you add the parkour gadgets like the grapple hook, it becomes incredible because your scorpion hook, you know, get over here, you're pulling these dudes to you, you're sprinting, jumping off of this dude as he's flying at you just so you can do a ground slam and attack a group of enemies. And it's really, really fun. At the end of the day, while it may not be as good on a hit feedback type of level and sound design level for the combat, it's still so stupidly fun to just drop kick a dude off a building and watch as he plummets 200 feet to his death, thinking, who the fuck did I just fight, dude? Who the fuck is this guy? He literally just ran off a wall and dive kicked me, and now I'm flying through the air about to die. I mean, it's so fun. And maybe that's just my monkey brain. I love ragdolls. I think the drop kick is fucking phenomenal. It's one of my favorite things in Dying Light 1, and it's just as great in this game. But the combat's still fun at the end of the day. And I do think that the performance, I played on PC, obviously. I think the performance is good. I also saw this game played on the Series X, and in the performance mode, and it looked quite good while remaining locked 60. I didn't see any frame drops. On PC, I can show you my settings quickly. I was playing at 1440p using DLSS on balanced. And these were my settings. I'm not really going to talk about them. I'll just show them really quickly. This is just the optimized settings the Digital Foundry put out, and I was sitting at around 80 to 100 FPS consistently. Very, very rare drops. So the game runs fine. Pretty good, actually. But when you consider how good the game looks in almost all regards, especially the lighting is phenomenal in this title, then the game runs great for how it looks, at least. So I didn't have any issues on the performance front. Didn't use ray tracing. I never use ray tracing just because I don't have a NASA supercomputer to use it and get acceptable frame rates. But if you really want your game to look good, the ray tracing looks phenomenal in this game. So let's get on to the cons here. And there definitely are a few. I mean, let's address the elephant in the room here. The bugs. Now, as you can see, I'm on 1.06. There has been 6 updates already, and they are updating a lot of the big issues fast. You know, it's only been a couple weeks now, I think. I don't remember when the game came out. I'm pretty sure it's only been a couple weeks. And they've already put out a ton of updates. They fixed all the major issues that people were having. So I'm going to be evaluating the product currently out right now. But I did experience some bugs throughout the game. Most namely, I did get stuck in walls twice, and I had to kill myself in order to get out. And I did accidentally, it's kind of on me, because instead of lockpicking a door, I ran and bashed through it. And the door closed behind me, locked, and I could not get out. So I had to kill myself again. So I had a couple bugs. I did have some issues, mostly with the parkour. There's a lot of weird, the description of the skill is not accurate to how to use the actual skill. And I'm assuming that this is a bug. I actually posted a video about it, but for example, when you're falling from high heights, you get the skill to roll and negate your fall damage. Now it says that you press your crouch button right before you hit the ground. But if you press your crouch button right before you hit the ground, it doesn't work. It does not do anything. It will not roll. What you actually have to do is just hold the crouch button while you're still in the air, pretty far from the ground, and then you'll roll. I tested this extensively, and it also seemed like it was entirely broke with hold crouch. You could only do it with toggle crouch. Same thing with the slide. The slide works fine with toggle crouch. You know, you hold your crouch button while you're running and you'll slide. But for some reason it does not work at all with hold crouch. So there's a lot of like weird little bugs and discrepancies in the skills. There's one skill in particular, I think it's called like the air kick or something like that. You're supposed to be falling from a great height and then hold your kick button on a dude. And I could not get this skill to work. I tried it extensively for over an hour in a bunch of different situations, a bunch of varying heights, and I could not get it to work. It was doing exactly what it said, so I have no idea what's going on with that skill. But some of them are definitely bugged. Another thing that's kind of annoying, going away from the bugs, but still on the level of, you know, the skills, is that for some reason they thought it would be a good idea to make it so Aiden always sprints. He's always sprinting, man. There is no, you press this button, you start sprinting. It's just a gradual build up of speed as you're moving around. And this can be kind of annoying when you're trying to make little movements, because you essentially have to crouch to make your little movements. Because if not, Aiden's just gonna, he's just fucking running everywhere. It's like, dude, all right, relax, calm down, okay? And then they add a ability that's essentially like a little bit of a speed boost while you are running by pressing, you know, in my case, shift or whatever it would be on console. And I just think it's kind of a weird system. I don't really like the fact that you're always sprinting. It feels a little awkward. Once you get used to it, it's fine, but it is definitely a little funky right off the bat. Some of the voice acting was a con for me, specifically Lawan. Now, this is kind of surprising because Rosario Dawson, I actually really like her as an actress. I think she's phenomenal in Firefly. That's the first time I saw her. I thought she was phenomenal in Daredevil. But maybe it's just because it's a game or something. I don't know. Her face looks a little weird in the title. Like the syncing, I don't think they motion captured her, but they use a character that looks exactly like her. And as a result, it's very weird looking. And her voice acting just isn't quite there for me. I don't know. I didn't really like her character, and I didn't really like her voice acting too much. Especially when you have this, you know, huge difference, this disparity where Aiden, who is phenomenally voice acted for everything, even the shittiest side quests known to man, he puts his all into. And then you have him talking to Lawan, who is an actual, you know, grade A actress, so you would think that she'd be great. And it's just not there. The performance is not there. So that was a little bit of a bummer, but almost everybody else is really good, I would say. The second map, much like Dying Light 1, there's two maps. And the second map, I don't want to spoil anything because, you know, I was surprised when I got to it. I mean, I knew there would be a second map because there was in the first game, and you can see the moment that you look at your map that there's a second area. It's not good. It's not good. It's just not conducive to parkour. It's definitely far more geared towards using the paraglider. There will be very large expanses where there's absolutely no rooftops or anything to run on, and of course that's where all the parkour is, on the rooftops. There's really not a lot of shit you can do on the streets, and then you're running through zombies. So it's 100% designed for you to utilize the grapple hook and utilize the paraglider in order to get around from A to B. And I just didn't really like that, personally. The paraglider is very cool, you know, when you first get it, because you're like, oh, okay, this is fun. This wasn't in the last game. But then when you actually, you know, have to use it all the time, it definitely wears out its welcome, in my opinion. I was not a fan of the second area. There's a bunch of really tall buildings that are just a pain to scale and navigate, and I just didn't like it, especially in contrast to the first area, which is phenomenal. Not a big fan. Some of the side quests are just trials. This is kind of a small thing, but it would kind of annoy me when I would see that there's a side quest. I'd go there, and then it's just a race. You know, that kind of was fucking annoying to me because some of the side quests are definitely not created equal with others. Some of them have tons of decisions, and they could extend on for a while. And then you'll get to one, you'll be excited, and then it's, oh, hey, I want you to get some sardines for me. It's like, bro, what? Sardine? Like, what? Why did you tell me this was a side quest? It's just kind of annoying. So not all of the side quests are created equal. Some of them are kind of shitty, but the actual ones that I would consider side quests, like, I don't really want to even consider the trial one side quest. Some of the actual ones are really, really good, though. I'll also say that not having any repairability on the weapons makes it sort of feel like Breath of the Wild. Like, oh, cool, I got this weapon, and it's gone. You know, oh, I got this cool weapon. And then you end up just hoarding weapons. At least I did. You hoard all the good weapons, and then you're just constantly using shitty weapons. And I just wish that there was a way to repair, like you could, you know, and have as many times as you can repair it tied to the rarity. You can apply mods, you know, your fire damage and stuff like that, and it will give it plus 50 durability. But it's really not the same as getting a full, you know, repair as in Dying Light 1. There's a little developer Easter egg thing, a little charm that you can get, and I don't know if it's a glitch or a bug or whatever that will allow you to repair stuff infinitely, but I did not do that. So that is a thing, though. If it really bothers you, then you could do that, unless it's a bug and they're gonna patch it. But I just wish you could actually repair your weapon. It's kind of annoying. You find something really cool. Another thing regarding side quests is every now and then you'll reach a point in the main quest and it will not tell you. It will not say, hey, all those side quests that you have, yeah, you won't be able to fucking do them because some crazy shit is going to happen. And you will not be able to do any of those side quests that you have. It doesn't tell you, and that's kind of annoying to me because there was a point where, you know, I'm trying to get 100%. I'm trying to do all the side quests. I had a side quest that I had not completed yet. I was on like the last part of it, and it was the one I actually made a video on for how to farm uncommon trophies. And for some reason, Momo, stop. And for some reason, man, it would just not tell you. And your side quest would disappear. Now, this happens multiple times in the game, and there's no way to get these side quests back. You literally just have to make an entirely new game. So that's a little frustrating. Make sure you do all the side shit that you can before you do your next main quest. I'll also say that I found the game very easy. I played on hard, which is the hardest difficulty. So I do kind of hope that they add an even harder difficulty like they did with Dying Light 1. Because it was a little bit too easy for me, personally. You know, at the beginning, I was struggling a little bit, mainly with just getting enough stuff to craft medkits. But then when I saw that I could buy medkits for really cheap, and money is not an issue in this game at all. I constantly had a surplus of money. And all you're really going to be spending your money on is upgrading your blueprints and buying new weapons, because the traders have like the best weapon in the game to scale to your level. But the prices for the weapons don't really increase a lot. So I always had a ton of money. I could always just buy whatever I needed. And I did feel it was a little bit easy, but who knows? I'm just a pro gamer, so maybe that's what it was. Along with, you know, talking about the weapons and scaling to your level, everything in the game will only scale to level 6. until you beat the main story. The maximum level is 9, and I was at level 8, almost level 9. And the reason this is annoying is because, you want to do all of the side quests before you do the next main quest, because, like I said, you'll get locked out of side quests. So you do all the side quests, then you do the main quest, meaning that by the time you've beaten the game, you've done all the side quests. Well, guess what? After you beat the game, shit will now properly scale to your level, which is awesome, past 6, but there's no new game plus. So what are you even supposed to do? It's like they want you to just rush through the main quest, not do the side quests, even though you'll get locked out of a bunch of the side quests. And then after you beat the main quest and shit will actually scale up past 6, now you should do side stuff. It's really, really weird. It doesn't make any sense to me. Dying Light 1 has a new game plus that's phenomenal, so I have no idea why this game doesn't. But after you beat the game, there's really nothing to do. Like, I've done everything. What do I do? But I'm still using level 6 gear because I couldn't get any higher level gear. So I don't know. I think this type of game definitely needs a new game plus. It makes no sense to me why there isn't. I'm sure they'll add it down the line, but it's something that should definitely be in day one, especially a game like this where you want to make different decisions as you're playing through. You want to just go, okay, new game plus, now I'm going to side with the other faction and see what that's like. As it is now, you just have to do an entirely new game. So, not a big fan of that. That's actually kind of a bummer to me. And then some of the characters are just entirely underused. They will just disappear and never return. There was one chick in particular. She hated my guts, because I made decisions that negatively affected her big time. She hated my guts, and she goes, I'm gonna get you for this. You're gonna regret this. I'm gonna get you. And she never, ever appears again. Like, I don't know if it's setting up for DLC, but she was a big character too, by the way, like the first half of the game. I don't know if it's setting up for DLC or something like that, because it is confirmed that we're going to be getting several story expansions. But it definitely felt very weird and unnatural. That these big characters just kind of disappeared and were not part of the story anymore. Very weird to me. But it happened with 2 of the characters that seemed like they were going to be big, and they were big, and then they're just gone. So, a little funky for me. Overall, though, I would say the game is highly enjoyable. I mean, I don't sit down and put 65 to 70 hours in a game, and let alone do all the side stuff unless I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. While I don't think that this game is as good as Dying Light 1 in terms of the combat, I think it's actually significantly better than Dying Light 1 in terms of the parkour, the main character. I actually like Aiden more than I like Crane, which surprised me because I did really like Crane. I think the first area is really good. I think the story is actually pretty captivating, and I really enjoyed the decisions of the factions and their interplay there. Overall, I think the game's a solid 8 out of 10. I know I said that I wouldn't recommend buying it because of the bugs a couple weeks ago, but I do think most of the big bugs have been patched out. I didn't experience anything, so I'd say it's definitely worth picking up now that they've fixed those big bugs that were making it so you literally couldn't play the game. Like, I stand by what I said a couple weeks ago, that it wasn't worth purchasing then. They fixed those bugs now. There's multiple save slots. There's multiple ways to respawn. There's multiple ways around, getting progress locked like people were getting when the game launched. So I think it's definitely worth a buy now. 8 out of 10 for me. If you don't know, 5 out of 10 is average for me. 6 is above average. 7 is good. 8 is great. I think 8 is, this game's definitely worthy of an 8. I thoroughly enjoyed my time. I'm gonna play through a second time at some point, and I plan on playing all of the DLC when it drops. And I'm sure they'll add, you know, legendary levels or legacy levels or whatever like they had in the first game as well. This game's gonna be supported for years to come, just like Dying Light 1 was. I mean, Dying Light 1, it's still getting support. That game came out what, 2014? I don't remember exactly when but it's many, many years old. And it was still getting support up until the launch of Dying Light 2. So I've no doubt this game is going to continuously get content and just get better and better, honestly. So if you don't pick it up now, maybe just wait for a sale and pick it up when it has even more content. Why not, right? But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one. See all of you in the next video. Or Mr. Rooney. Bye-bye.